What's a movie that should never be remade? Delete this thread before Netflix gets ideas. I can't just name one movie, but must state the obvious. 1. Don't remake movies that were already good and still hold up. 2. Don't remake movies that were products of their time and wouldn't translate well on this era. 3. Come up with an original movie. It's not like there aren't enough writers desperately trying to sell their scripts. Edit. 4. Ignore 1 to 3 if we're replacing the cast with the Muppets. Besides the fact that Tom Hanks was perfect, I don't see a modern remake of Forrest Gump being received well based on cultural shifts alone. Alien, 1979. I am surprised it hasn't been mentioned yet. It's still so good 40+ years later. Mr. Bean. No one will ever be able to recreate the character as well as Rowan Atkinson. Really anything from Rowan Atkinson can never be remade. Blackadder for instance. Beetlejuice. What is something that is so 1990s and early 2000s? AOL Instant Messenger. The Encarta Encyclopedia. Caller ID box and cordless phones. Video game demo discs. GeoCities. Going to HMV, or any other music store, to listen to new CDs through headphones on their walls. What was supposed to be used by one gender, but is far more useful to the other? I don't know if it's universal, but several women I've known prefer men's razors. I usually buy men's sweatshirts that have the fluffy inside. Women's fluffy sweatshirts have the fluff on the hood but never on the inside. The material is so thin. And they are usually more expensive or the same price. Crop tops were initially made for men. That's why you see a lot of 70s rock artists sporting one. I have an awesome teal sweater that I realized was a women's when the receipt read, boyfriend. Sweater. High heels were invented for men. Specifically cavalry. As it helped stay in stirrups more easily. https en.wikipedia.org/wiki/high-heeled_shoe-pre-1700s. Men's casual footwear for women with large feet. What's one thing you refuse to spend money on? Getting my own cash from an ATM. Cable TV. Designer furniture. Saw a Calvin Klein rug at a store for $4,000. Store was only in business for 8 months. Susan G. Komen. What a scam. Photoshop and cocaine. The two are completely unrelated. In-game character skins. On a first-person shooter. Motherfuckers, you don't see it. What is the most unethical profession? Prosperity preachers. The people who scam old people all day pretending to be from Microsoft. Mediums and psychics who capitalize on the pain and grief their clients feel from losing someone they love. I will help you communicate with your dead loved one for $200 an hour, the Gabby Petito SP? Case was so fucked up with all the TikTok psychos. Oh, I'm sorry. Psychics posting videos saying she was speaking to them from beyond the grave. Edited. Removed the word fake because you guys in the comments are right. Also, there is not apostrophe in psychos. I am sorry for committing this mortal sin. MLMs for sure. They prey on the poor and desperate. Televangelist. I used to buy, trade and sell trading cards. It seemed unethical cause you'd always be trying to get an amazing deal from people and especially kids. If someone didn't know the price of the card you'd still haggle with them to get it even lower. I remember one of my buddies getting 3 cards worth $150 each for about $30 cause the guy didn't know the price had spiked a couple hours ago. People who say females instead of girls or women. Why? I was raised by the Ferengi. Not native English speaker, so some nuances of appropriate word usage may escape me. I only say it in reference to an English comedy series called Friday Night Dinner. I sometimes say it by accident. English is not my first language. And I am a biologist, so I often use the word female about the animals I work with. And when I switch to talking about humans, I occasionally forget myself. Lady A's smirk. Females? More like Iron Man. What do you think is currently holding civilization back? Corruption. It's an easy target. But even with the press it has these days. I don't think people realize how destructive misinformation and asterisk thinking you're correct without any training at all actually is. The mentality that opinion's greater than facts, especially when that opinion is 6 squared equals 12. The leaders who only care for their self-interests and not of those who they lead. And us for consistently voting these people into power. In the U.S., I think one of the things that is holding us back the most is money in politics. As long as corporations are able to keep politicians in their pockets, we will never have any real substantial structural change. People who are convinced they're geniuses without any actual training or education. How did you get your shit together? It's a daily thing putting my shit together. Small steps add up to huge progress. For me, it's important not to judge any of it and recognize I tend to overestimate what can be accomplished in a day and underestimate what can be done over several years. I moved across the country, away from everyone I knew. Got into a routine. Started waking up early. Focused on my strengths rather than my weaknesses. Made better, more specific and achievable goals. Wrote down a list and neurotically check it all day to check off things I needed to do. I was diagnosed with inattentive ADHD last year and put on meds. I have 75% of my shit together instead of 0. Stopped drinking. What's your opinion of people over the age of 18 still living at home? Shoot, have you looked at the housing market? I've seen people in the 40s move back home. Considering 40% of people aged 24 to 29 live at home still, there isn't much to think about. LMAO, it's completely normal. Strong chance their meals are home cooked and awesome. Nothing wrong with it. Stay your ass there until you got it 20k stacked. My mom always said, your 20s are for you to learn yourself and make mistakes and learn from them. 30s are you becoming and building yourself and family. I'm Asian, so it's heavily encouraged. Since it's like you taking care of your parents. I don't think judging someone's character based on their housing situation is fair. So it really depends on the context. I don't personally think it's bad. As long as there's no malicious or ill intent.
Subscribe, my brothers.